I am not a professional endurance athlete. I'm a middle of the pack, not compete runner and cyclist. I have dreams of one day running Western states or to complete an Ironman. I am also a watch nerd. Watches and timing are interlocked with endurance sports. From the early days of mechanical watches and handheld chronographs, to the Timex Ironmans of the 80s, and right up to modern GPS and smartwatches of today. Endurance athletes have always sought the best time-telling device to provide them with the most data possible. In recent years, we have seen the emergence and dominance of GPS and smartwatches for athletes. The data they provide before, during, and after a run are invaluable for performance improvement. This is my Suunto Ambit 3 Peak. I wear this on pretty much all of my runs and rides. It tracks my time, distance, location, speed, heart rate, elevation, recovery time, and lap time. It can be set up for a variety of sports, such as running, cycling, triathlon, rowing, skiing, skating, and much more. The amount of features on this watch is astounding. The problem I have with these watches is they are just so bland. Yes, they have colors and different models, but it just seems like everyone out there has their standard issue smartwatch. There's no individuality. Nothing will ever replace the advantages that these watches provide us. But sometimes, I prefer to just run with my Timex Ironman. It provides me with minimal timing data and allows me to just run. When I heard Breitling came out with a watch design specifically for endurance athletes, I was very intrigued. Upon first inspection, I liked the design a lot. An extremely light case with sharp lines, rubber strap. I love that they added a hint of color to each model, but the same case and bezel design. I started taking a closer look, and well, that's where I was turned off. First, I noticed the Compass Bezel. This is practically useless for a couple of reasons. The first being, not many people know how to use it. The second is that if you're going for a run and you get lost, or you want to check that you're heading in the right direction, you want to be able to do that at a glance. This would be the perfect time for Breitling to incorporate a compass into the provided NATO, as seen on this watch by Tracer. A timing bezel would be much more practical in this case. Normally, I'm not a fan of pulsation scales. In this case, I don't mind it too much. It is used to calculate your heart rate, which is something that runners like to know. However, pretty much every endurance athlete knows how to calculate their heart rate with or without a watch. So this tool, while it actually serves a purpose, is not very necessary. Let's move on to the dial. Can it get any busier? The legibility is lacking big time. This is not something you can quickly glance at. It is something you need to decipher. The size of the watch actually makes sense for endurance athletes. It is a rather large 44 millimeters, which is usually a good thing because it makes it easier to read, if it weren't for the hieroglyphic dial. And finally, my biggest issue with the Breitling Endurance as a watch for endurance athletes is the chronograph. Endurance athletes are typically doing extremely long workouts and races. They have very little use for a 30-minute counter, and even less use for a 1/10 of a second counter. This chronograph layout would be perfect for up to 5-kilometer distance runners. But anything further than that, it's practically useless. It would be much more useful to have a 60-minute and 24-hour counter, especially on the Ironman editions. And that's my take. Do I hate this watch? No. I think it will appeal to a lot of people. I personally like the design and the spirit behind it. I just think from a functional perspective, it could have been executed so much better and actually made into a useful tool. Thank you for watching. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the Breitling Endurance, so please share a comment below.